Yet again, almost beating my high score, yet it's never gonna happen. How's it going, everyone? It's SirJames, and I hope you guys are doing well. Today is Friday, which can only mean technically two things. We have a new episode of The Mandalorian, so which means that if you are watching this video either during the premiere or afterwards, to tread carefully in the comment section because you never know who might be talking about the latest episode, and I just don't want you guys to get possible spoilers or anything like that. But what you can talk about, which there was a bunch of Star Wars news that came out, so feel free to talk about that, of course. But anyways, like I said, we have yet another lightsaber to review for today's video, and this is actually from a completely different company, but I do want to give a special shout out to my good friend Xander for loaning this one out to me. And what's actually cool too is because this is actually from a company that I've never once covered here on the channel, so something completely new and different, which I get to learn some new things, and maybe you guys might be interested as well. But before we go into this, I do want to let you guys some good news, is that my lightsaber that I've been waiting for over 7 months now from Vader's Vault, the Sovereign Elite, oh yeah, it's finally done. So if everything goes according to plan, I'll be picking that up this weekend, and then I have another Hilt of my own coming in as well. Should be here maybe Saturday, most likely Monday, which is from Jedi Fallen Order. So the double-bladed lightsaber. If you guys recall Tuesday's video, I talked about how cool it would be if I could find a double-bladed saber with Profi NeoPixel. I found one later that day, so I'm super excited for those two Hilts to come in. But for now, let's go ahead and focus on this one. Now, this one is from a company called Genesis Custom Sabers. This Hilt from his site, I couldn't see it there as far as availability goes because there's only a few selections there. So I did some digging. Apparently this Hilt was called the Vector, or just Vector. That's the name of the Hilt. Let me give you guys a closer look really quick. As you can see, in terms of this Hilt, it's actually a simplistic design and colorization, nothing themed based off a particular character, and everyone's a bit different in terms of what they like because there's all kinds of different lightsaber choices out there. But what I do know is that this has the black anodizing, and apparently at one point he had it to where you had this version, which is more like the dark side, and then apparently there was another alternate version where it's more for the light side, or the Jedi, if you will. This does have a cover tech well, and since we have it here, let me go ahead and show you guys the electronics. Now this is installed with the Crystal Focus 10, and what's pretty cool actually, and I don't know if this is interchangeable with his other Hilts or not, that information I could not find, but if we unscrew this pommel completely, we could actually remove the entire chassis. So now this is just a hollow lightsaber. So let me go ahead and show you guys this. So we have our two, if the camera would focus. There you go. So we have our two LEDs right there for the buttons. We have our NeoPixel setup. We have the removable battery, which again, I love the removable battery setup because when the saber dies, pop in a new, of course, 3.7 volt battery, and you are good to go. And then over here is our Crystal Focus 10 board. So this is using the CFX board as well. Now the one thing I didn't like is the board is a little bit hard to access. Like I could get the SD card, which is important because that's where you install your fonts in. But let's say I wanted to upgrade or update the board with the firmware. It's really hard. Like I can't really plug in a cable to that. I think you can kind of move this around, but if it's a situation where I feel like uneasy when it comes to the wires, then I tend to not touch them because if I were to break them, I don't have any soldering skills to put that together, and since this is not my Hilt, I don't plan on risking that at all. And the other interesting thing too, once I put this back in here, which lines up perfectly, so it's a simple process, is the buttons here is actually, they're not flush with the body. It's kind of like inside this groove here, which is a bit interesting. So I just want to kind of point that out. I will say, however, this Hilt is extremely comfortable, like really comfortable. Like it basically it starts to cave in from like the top, and then it starts to shrink down towards this middle section, and the same thing from the bottom going upwards. So the middle section is a lot smaller compared to the rest of the body, but it feels very, very comfortable in the hand. But yeah, a little bit from what I've learned from the Genesis Custom Saber site is that, for one, from the bit of information I was able to find, I've heard nothing but good things from them. So that's great. So if you're a bit concerned for a company that I don't know too much about, I've heard nothing but good things. Apparently, he's also a person that does apparently a lot of commission work, and he'll take or come up with different hilts and whatnot, and he'll do like acid etchings and things like that. I'll put a few examples up on screen, and some of those look really, really good. And apparently, some of those go for a lot of money too, especially if someone had something from his collection and sold it. Yeah, they can be quite expensive. So I highly recommend you check out the website, do a little digging and research, check through the gallery. Some really cool stuff there. And he even has, I just want to kind of point this out, there is a Sith holocron, like a hard drive that you can get. I might get it down the road, I'm not sure, but I thought that was a pretty cool thing on there, a Sith hard drive. But anyways, let me go ahead and put in a blade. What I actually like is that there's this little screw here. So rather than having to get a tool to do that with, I could just go ahead and do this by hand. No additional components needed. And just tighten it with my thumb. So let me go ahead and turn off this light and activate. As I mentioned before, this is using the CFX board, so I am going to showcase a handful of fonts on here. And I'll probably showcase another font as well, a new one that was actually sent to me courtesy of Kyberphonic, which is one related to Star Wars pod racing, perhaps. So let's go ahead and activate. Now with CFX, since it's been a while since I've really talked about CFX, when you want to change your fonts, you would hold down one of the buttons.
Sound bank selection.
And then when you do that, you can go ahead and press the button up or down to cycle, well, up or down. So we're just going to press down to go to the next one.
This part is over.
And then you hold it to go ahead and select, and you're good to go. And then you can go ahead and press whatever is your activation button. And then there you go. Like I said, I just can't get over with how really comfortable this hilt is. It's like, it's to the point where if you're someone that likes to swing lightsabers, then you're easily going to get that nice comfort feeling with this one for sure. And I feel like it probably makes it a little bit easier, especially if you're kind of like, if you want to do something like saber flows that some people get really good at. Unfortunately, I can't do any of that stuff, but I feel like this is definitely a nice hilt to have for something of that sort. Now, of course, these hilts, if you guys didn't know, with Crystal Focus 10, just like with Profi, you could also change colors and whatnot, which requires me to press the second button, then the top, so down, up.
Spectrum.
We go into a spectrum mode, and then here I just kind of twist the hilt, kind of like I'm revving an engine sort of thing, and then I could cycle through the different colors that I want. And then whatever color that I find, so let's say this green one here, oh wait, this green one here, if I hold down the button, I will go into what's called a blade profile.
Blade profiles.
Thank you, that's what I just said, blade profile. And then here I could turn while it's on the selected color, and this will incorporate different effects for the saber. So there we got a little chroma one there. It's always a fun one. And then whatever you find that you like, you simply get to it and then you press the button to select, and then you're good to go. So now when you go to that font, it's going to be on whatever it is that you saved it as next time I go back to this Mace Windu one, which in this case I changed it to green, so now you could pick a different Jedi. Next one.
Sound bank selection.
This part is over.
Welcome, young Skywalker.
So, you have accepted the truth.
Exactly.
Take your weapon.
Now that one had a pre-on. Just like with the Proppy board, CFX, you could also do pre-ons and stuff like that. You don't necessarily have to, but if you're someone that likes that kind of stuff like I do, then you can go ahead and enable it. Because the one thing that I've always stated in regards to my custom lightsaber videos is that if you're someone who's looking into getting a custom lightsaber, like you are a newcomer to this, like I was about a year ago, Crystal Focus 10 or CFX for short is an excellent starter for sure, because one, it's a great board in general, and two, it's very easy to learn from. When I was first introduced into it, it took me, like, I think literally the next day I was over here combining different files and whatnot, doing pre-ons or pre-offs. But yeah, like I said, if you're looking into getting into the custom lightsaber community, CFX is a great starter board. I know some people hop into the Profi, which Profi can be confusing, but CFX is definitely a good way to go about it. Of course, if I hold down the second button,
You couldn't bring yourself to kill me before, and I don't believe you'll destroy me now.
You underestimate the power of the dark side.
you go into the saber clashing, and this one actually incorporated some dialogue in there, which hopefully you guys heard. And then of course, if I press the second button, we'll initiate the blasters, and of course pressing the top will deactivate it.
Sound bank selection.
Welcome.
There's another Leia one that I have on here, so we'll come back. Yeah, I figured why not add something retro, right? I just had to include that one. It's just, I like a little bit of retro in my life, you know?
Sound bank selection.
Vanquish.
Then we have Vanquish, which this one doesn't work quite too well on this one, because the Vanquish one was technically a Hilt with the cross guard, so might change that one out, though. Here we go, we'll do this one.
There's so much I want to tell you.
Tell me when you get back.
And this one also sounds really good. Like I said, because you got that smooth body finish, it just feels great to swing around. I just got to be a little bit more cautious, of course, where I'm going to be swinging at. And then we'll do a couple more.
Sound bank selection.
Now I noticed too that every time I go to this, for some reason this blade blinks, does a little flash. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I never really had a CFX saber do that, But for some reason this one's doing it, so I just don't know why. I can't really explain that one.
Die.
Oh, here we go. I'm sure you guys will get a kick out of this one. So I like these little random ones that just don't represent a character, but it represents a vehicle. Those are always fun. Actually, speaking of vehicle, let's go to another vehicle font.
Sound bank selection.
Ray Skywalker.
Let's see what this Sabers has.
Youngling.
This is General Kenobi.
Crystal Focus.
That little kitty one, there's like this weird one that comes with these CFX by default. It's like a weird Hello Kitty thing. Or Neon Cat or something like that.
Nebula.
Granny.
Revolt.
Now this is pod racing.
Here we go, this is the one that I talked about that was sent to me courtesy of Kyberphonic, which is now available on his website. So, like, of course, the typical thing that Rex and Around likes to always say too is he always likes to get this. Now, this is pod racing. Now, this one I did with the purple blade, with a little effect to kind of replicate the that beam that's going across for those pod racers. Now, it's a bit interesting because I also have the font on my Star Killer, and I noticed something that was a bit weird, maybe just because it's been a while since I played with CFX, but I was swinging, I was hoping to do the effect when you swing really hard. Well, let me just give you an example on here on the Profi one. I also did a thing too on here. So you got that, but then you go... Turn on the light. So yeah, that is it for this review. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Like I said, I think it's worth checking out the Genesis Custom Saber website. You might find some stuff there, or maybe you might want to go ahead and submit a commission of your own for maybe some kind of anniversary or just something unique as well. But like I said, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys next time, and don't forget to stay tuned to my Instagram for some photos for my Sovereign Elite and maybe some other Sabers as well. Until then, you guys enjoy your weekend.